Hello everyone, it's Sabrina from the Comba family and I am pregnant. I'm so excited to tell you all about my pregnancy thus far and I had to wait too long to tell you. I could have told you in the beginning, but everybody knows that the beginning of a pregnancy you kind of just want to keep to yourself until you're comfortable with it to make sure that nothing happens in the first trimester. So I'm at the end of the first trimester right now at about 10 weeks. So I was comfortable enough to not wait any longer to tell you guys. We have been trying to have a baby since I arrived in Kenya, which was about 8 months ago. So we are very excited for this. My husband, I wanted him to be in this video with me, but he is not so comfortable doing so because, as I mentioned in one of the cultural differences about my culture and his culture, they don't announce pregnancies. They don't do special things for pregnancies or get super excited when someone says that they're pregnant. So he would rather not be in a video where we announce our pregnancy publicly, but he is supportive of me doing so. So I wanted to talk about, first of all, my due date is June 23rd currently, and I am so excited for that. And a little bit about our fertility journey thus far until we got to this point. So we were trying to have a baby the natural way for 5 to 6 months before we maybe not even that, like 4 to 5 months before we decided that we wanted to go get a consultation with a fertility doctor to just see what our options were, right? Because in my husband's culture, when you get married, the next step is having a child, and it's not even discussed. It's not even like, oh, do you guys want to have children? Are you gonna wait a little bit? No, like it's like you get married and you're automatically trying right away. So for us to go like over 4 months without getting pregnant, it was kind of just like, I'm young, you're young, you know, like pressures from his culture and pressures from myself because I wanted a baby so bad, and I made that very clear to my husband before I even came to Kenya. So we go to a fertility specialist, and she kind of like had the same perception. She was just like, it's only been 4 months, 5 months. Like usually, especially with healthy people like you guys, you don't even come to a fertility specialist until about a year of trying. She was like, so if you want to, we could do a bunch of tests and then we could decide if IUI or IVF would be more suitable for you. So we did a bunch of blood tests, urine tests, and everything came back normal. And the last test was to do the tube test. So they take you to like a specialist place that does this, and they put dye into you so that they can do scans of your tubes, because I guess you can't see like the tubes on a regular scan, so they have to put dye into them in order to see the tubes. So that was the last test that we did, and my husband also did a sperm test, and that was completely normal. So we did the tube test, and then they said that with the tube test, like you will have a little bit of bleeding afterward, which I did, and then after that you wait until your next period, and then the doctor said since the tube test was normal, the IUI would be best for us. So we decided that that's what we're gonna do, and so we're waiting for the next period. And the tube test is done, I believe, on the 10th day of your cycle. So we're waiting, and a period like never happens. And so then I had some light spotting, maybe around like the time that I should have had my period, but it was very, very light spotting. And so I was just like, could that be implantation bleeding? Maybe I got pregnant this month. You know, I was so excited. And so I was taking so many pregnancy tests, negative, negative, negative. So I was just like, okay, like what is happening? Like that obviously wasn't a period because it was so light. So I was just like, okay. So I had my mom send me some ovulation test kits so that I could figure that out. And it was just like, what is happening to me, you know? Like usually like if you have your cycle, then you're just like, okay, didn't get pregnant this month, let's try next month. Okay, didn't get pregnant this month, let's try next month, right? But with this, it was just like no period. And we were getting to like the 50, 60 day mark where like the second period should be coming, you know? And so I was just like, I kind of give up, you know, like I was putting so much energy into this. If you have been on a fertility journey trying so hard to have a baby, you know exactly what I'm talking about. So I just gave up and I was like, you know what, like a period is not coming. I don't know what is happening, but I'm not going to stress out about it anymore. So we just had intercourse whenever we felt like it, you know, it wasn't like a timed thing or anything like that. So then the fertility and or the ovulation and pregnancy test came from my mom in the mail, and so I took a couple, they were negative, and so then one morning I woke up and I was like, let me just take them, because they were on our shelf here, and so like I would see them occasionally, and I was like, let me just take an ovulation test and a pregnancy test just to see like what they say. And so I took them, and then I picked it up and it had like a line, and it wasn't even like a faint line. It was like a line, like I could like hold it away from me and clearly see the line. And so I was just like, am I tripping? And so I came into the room because Shaha, my husband, he was still asleep. So I came into the room and I was like, Shaha, I need you to look at this. And he was like, oh, what? And I showed him and I was like, am I tripping, or is there like a line there? And he was like, I mean, there's a line. Like he was like confused, you know, because like we've been going through this fertility journey like together. Like I tell him like, oh, I have light spotting, or oh, like my period hasn't came yet, or, you know, very honest with my husband about this whole process. And so he's just like shocked. Like he's like, I don't know, I'm not gonna get too excited. So then that day we went to the hospital and did an HCG test. And so that came back, I forgot the exact number. It was like 63 or something, my HCG. And so I was like, that means I'm pregnant. But it was so early that like both of us didn't want to get excited, you know? And so then 3 days later, we went back, and so it's supposed to double every 2-ish days, the HCG number. And so by 3 days, it should have been at least like 120, like, it should have been around like 200, a little less than 200, right? So we went back and got the HCG done again, and it was 570. It was supposed to be 200, it was 570. So then we were like, we're really pregnant. So then we got super excited. We told our daughters, amazing. So, but it was still super early, right? So we didn't want to go get an ultrasound and like not be able to see anything and it kind of be like disheartening. So we just like waited, even though it was so difficult. We waited. So then there was a pregnancy fair at one of the hospitals here in Nairobi, and so my husband was like, let's go to this pregnancy fair. And then they were giving like discounted ultrasounds. So we went to this pregnancy fair. It was super fun. We got a free like a swaddle blanket and a free pack of diapers, and then we did the ultrasound, and we could clearly see the baby and clearly see the heartbeat, which was 146. So that was when I was 7 weeks and 1 day. And so we were like so excited about that. And then recently, about 3 or 4 days ago, we went back and got another ultrasound done, which was at 8 weeks, 5 days, and that was perfect as well. The heartbeat went up to 158, and we could see the baby, and the baby was the perfect size and everything. So we are very confident now in saying that we are pregnant. So we're super excited to tell you guys this, and I think it's just the way God intended it, you know, like it. And I've heard this from so many women, that the 1 month that they were like, you know what, it's too stressful, I give up, like we're just gonna have intercourse when we have intercourse, and then that's the month that they get pregnant because they're not putting so much stress on themselves. And that's exactly what happened to us, you know, like we were both putting so much stress on ourselves. Like when I was ovulating, then I would be like, we have to have intercourse every single day for the next week, you know, like it was more of like a task, and that's not how it's supposed to be. So by just being chill and letting things happen when they happened just when they were supposed to. And I think that God made it happen that way because he didn't want us to go through like IUI or IVF when both of us are completely fine, you know, like we don't need any intervention. So we are very lucky to say that we are pregnant and we're having a baby in around June 23rd. So please let me know if you are trying to conceive or if you are pregnant, and if this video like gave you some encouragement or excitement. I am so excited. So I can't wait to show you guys my baby when the baby comes in June. We talk about the baby all the time. We already picked a name, but we are not telling anybody until the baby comes, and we're just very excited. So thank you guys for watching this video, and I am excited to share with you guys the process of being pregnant. I also intend to record some videos on like the first trimester symptoms and recaps of all the different trimesters and all of that. So I hope you guys will stay tuned for my pregnancy journey, and at the end see a beautiful, healthy baby. So I will see you guys in our next video. Please remember to like, comment, share, and subscribe, and I'll see you soon. Bye!